Goofy darn.
I know, right? Hi, everybody. It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes with my friend to the end, Myra J. How are you, Myra?
I'm doing just fine, Sybil Wilkes.
Good, good. It's just the twos of us right now. Stephen Hill is somewhere in the world. And when we say that, it's not just,
Yes,
just
he's
wild
he's
comparisons.
time traveling right now, so we're trying to get him back into what's the day? September 29th of 2021. And the minute he arrives in this particular moment in time, he will appear.
Yes, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And we are also without our young social activist. That is a social justice activist. Quinn is under the weather today, so we wish her a speedy recovery and wish her speedy
Yeah.
recovery, and that we will see her next week.
Get well,
M-
Quinn.
Myra, what's going on with you? What's happening? What's the word? What's the haps? What's the goings ons?
Well,
Because you look
every,
beautiful. Once again, you look like you're about ready to step out for an adult beverage or dinner.
well, you know what? I just felt like the Amazon driver need to see some of this like this today, since he be coming around here all the time. Between him and Dean, look, Reverend Warnock, if you send me another text message, I'm gonna expect some flowers, or you're gonna have to start referring to me as your boo. I know you're running for office. I support you. I'm gonna vote for you, but I can't keep getting text messages from this man all the darn time, and I'm not getting no flowers and no dinner. This is
It's
starting to get to my teeth.
disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. And I bet you before this is over, this phone gonna ring, and
And
he
it's
wonder why. Yeah, he wonder why I don't answer the calls. I
well,
need
Myra,
flowers.
can we call you First Lady then?
Probably not. That probably wouldn't be cool.
I would. How great would that? You would be unlike any First Lady we have ever known.
Ever,
Ever
ever,
known.
ever. And I'm telling you, no matter what the office, it would be all the way live, people. It would be all the way live.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to try to make this happen. Would you like us to do a dating game with you and
Oh,
Senator
heck
Raphael Warnock?
no. Oh, no. Look, we've had this conversation. I don't know. Heck no. You know what? I love the people, and the six people who love me, I want to keep it that way. But we are not about to put my business out in the street about what I like and how I like it. That's what the DM is for. Come on now. No, no man. Mm-mm.
Myra, you would want.
Sybil, would you like for me to set you up? Because I can go high, I can go low, anywhere in between. Where you at, girlfriend? Where
See,
you at?
see, I would only go high with you.
And see, I wouldn't, because I like a little variety. Little variety is the spice of life, Shoot, I can go to highs or high, but if it's a Friday night and some brown liquor, hey, we can slide in for a couple of hours.
Okay, so we'll go Senator Warnock when he's in town and doing Senate stuff for the
Hmm.
high, and then
Yeah.
we'll go low with somebody for you that likes the brown liquor and likes to kick off the shoes and disappear for a while.
As long as you don't have the shoes ain't sandals with the matching socks and the short set. I cannot, Detroit. I cannot.
Myra, we're from the south side of Chicago. You know how that goes.
Chicago, yeah.
Chicago, Detroit,
Kansas City, yeah.
Cleveland. Come on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Come
Hmm.
on. Come on.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, Myra, let's talk about as we await the arrival of our friend Stephen Hill. Let's talk about some things that are going on. I saved this story for Stephen Hill because it's music oriented. For me, I really don't have any interest in it, and it really is a mainstream story, but it's interesting in that we have an almost 35-year-old woman who is battling for her own responsibility of her life, and that's Britney Spears. And this has come down that the judge has suspended Spears' father from conservatorship that controls her life and money. So she is going to have somebody different. But this has happened out of Los Angeles, that he has suspended her father for the conservatorship that has controlled her life and money for 13 years.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, There he is.
The funny
There he
is,
is.
I've been here, and then Reverend Warnock hit me and was like, "You haven't stopped talking about me." And I was like, ain't nothing I can do about that. I don't know what to tell you about that, player. You brought this on yourself. Yeah.
Hi, it's
Britney Spears'
Sybil,
mom
and
is
now
over there.
arrival of Stephen Hill along with Myra J. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Britney Spears' dad's talking about, well, where can I find Myra? I got empty time now. I was like,
Oh no! Look, if your own daughter don't want you, you don't want you in the life. No, no sir, no sir.
Well,
I really call he was looking for somebody else to call him daddy, I guess. I don't know.
oh, it's a good thing Quinn's not here.
I said that in her honor. As a matter of fact.
Well, you know what? I feel like you, Sybil. Like personally, I don't really care too much about the whole Britney Spears story. I do wish her well, but just in sort of watching her little clips on Instagram, I do believe she has had and still has some mental challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel as though there were many people around her taking advantage of her. So I'm glad her dad is out of the picture. But now that he's not there, I just hope that her very inner circle, that she is surrounded with people who really have her best interest at heart. Because I don't think she's ready to totally be out there on her own, unsupervised, just all, released to Kraken.
Right. And Myra, I'm paying attention to what you're saying, but it's very blue screen or green screen like with Stephen Hill. I'm just saying, it's very. I don't know if it's Bond, James Bond, or whatever, but it's very.
I want to make sure I got in touch. It's an arcade game. I'm in the middle of an arcade game, but nothing keeps it from me.
So Stephen Hill, do you know Britney Spears? Have you been in? Go ahead.
Well, no, we worked together years ago, but I would not say that I know her at all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine the situation. I've listened to the story, and I must admit I'm befuddled. I don't understand a situation where a father has conservatorship when someone is so, I think, proven that like they don't necessarily need it anymore, or I don't know. And there are 3 documentaries coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I plan on watching every one of them so I can get more insight on this because I think this is fascinating.
And some, are looking for insight. So we will just, I guess, we'll look for some sort of insight, as you say, because it's one of those situations that it is befuddlement for me in terms of this. But apparently, this judge is a sister. Her name is Judge Brenda Penny, and she agreed with a petition from Britney Spears and her attorney that Jamie Spears needs to give up his role as conservator. Now, let me tell you, this is the one interesting aspect of this case for me. And this sister has been getting death threats from Britney Spears fans if she did not make a decision as they saw fit. If she didn't come through for Britney, according to her fans, she was getting death threats from these people, which just,
once again, keyboard courage. People,
yeah.
That's what I call it, keyboard courage.
Yeah.
People will sit at home and type all this stuff. And that's one of the downfalls of technology and social media now, because back in the day, you had 1 or 2 crazy people who spent 3 years cutting words out of a magazine and taping them in a letter, to send to you, and now you get hundreds of people, unfortunately.
Yeah. Myra, have you ever gotten one of those letters? Because I have.
Yes. One of those scary kind of.
One of those where they cut the letters and the pictures.
Yes.
And,
Yes. Yeah. I was doing warm up at the Martin show, and apparently someone of a much lighter persuasion had taken
lighter than you.
Much lighter from a land far away, and
Norway.
and had asked me out after a show, and I said, no, thank you, blah 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 blah. And then he came back. He asked me again, and I asked security not to allow this person on the set anymore. And then I got I got a letter, not a threatening letter, but kind of a love letter, but it was cut out in the magazine.
Oh.
I kid you all not. This was probably 25 years ago. Somewhere in this house, I still have it because back then I told everybody, I said, if anything happens to me,
Right.
crazy boy over here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dust
Yeah.
this for fingerprints. Dust
Yep.
this for fingerprints.
Yep.
And did it come with some dust in it too, by any chance?
No, but one time he showed me, he said, I work in Vegas as an Elvis impersonator, and he showed me this $60,000 paycheck. Like that was supposed to do something to me. I was like,
Hey.
and you know, like, does Elvis know? Like, you know, like, it was just a creepy situation. It was very creepy. Yeah.
I've gotten a
He
couple
showed
of
you a
those.
$60,000 paycheck?
Yeah. And this
Showed you
was
$60,000
25.
paycheck?
Yeah. Which I
Done something to
personally,
me, I ain't gonna lie to you.
well, personally, I didn't think
I'd
it
be
was
like,
real.
baby, don't be cruel.
I didn't think it was real. Yeah, like, you know, he probably had a little printing machine. Like maybe she'll go for $100,000.
No, that's funny. That's funny. Another story from our topical discussion, the Donald Trump campaign has lost its NDA, this non-disclosure agreement case that it brought in arbitration against Omarosa Manigault Newman for her tell-all book. He's been defeated in the arbitration case brought against in which was alleged that she had violated this non-disclosure agreement with public comments and a book critical of the former president. In the judgment granted Manigault Newman's favor, the arbiter rejected the Trump campaign's claim, saying the NDA was overbroad, indefinite, and unreasonable. That pretty much describes him. The decision makes it's a rare instance of finality and financial consequence in a legal fight picked by Donald Trump against one of his personal or political foes. What do you think, Myra?
Who's writing this book now?
This is Omarosa wrote this book, and Donald Trump's campaign was bringing a case against her because it says that she violated the non-disclosure agreement.
You know what? People can write whatever they want to write. Her experience was her experience. Personally, I think she's a straight up opportunist. And what is she going to tell us that we don't already know? And girlfriend, you was all up in the Kool-Aid and was drinking it hard.
Yeah.
So I won't be spending any money for it. But you do.
Well,
you.
this book came out a while ago, but you know, Donald Trump is still trying to make some money, and still trying to stay in the mix and get some attention. So, Stephen Hill, what do you think
Both
about
of
this
them
book?
can just fade off.
So I do know Omarosa a bit, and I actually understood when she stayed with Trump, because back from the Apprentice days, Trump supported her kind of after the show and after all the lights were turned off. He was still a very, very big supporter of Omarosa when she needed. So I understood that bond. And then when he got megalomaniac, I also understood why that was never going to last. Mm-hmm. My biggest challenge is with all these people who saw this wrongdoing in the White House and then said, oh, I can't believe that's happening.
Right.
Wait till I put it in my book 4 years later.
Right.
That's my challenge is everybody. And there's so many people now writing books. Mm-hmm. Who's the one who wrote the book recently? Who said, like, he said to Putin, "Don't worry about it, I'm gonna be good."
This is the one that's just out. Yeah.
She was Melania's assistant or something. Also,
I'm not sure if that's the same one, because the one because I have another story about the White House aides who were told that they had to be playing Broadway show tunes when Donald Trump got upset. This is out of Stephanie Grisham's book, that the White House aide was tasked with playing show tunes to then President Donald Trump to prevent him from flying off the handle. And he was particularly fond of Memory from Cats.
That is everything. That story writes itself. That joke writes itself.
The Times has reported that according to the book, an unnamed White House official named the Music Man was tapped to play the president his favorite show tunes to stop him when he was about to throw a tantrum. As I said, the tunes included Memory from the musical Cats, And she didn't name the official, but they are saying that it was a White House aide by the name of Max Miller, who was Grisham's ex-boyfriend. And the Music Man would come about when he started to wind up a little bit. And they said that you start, I guess you just go to Spotify and you say, okay, play Memory, and he would just sort of calm down.
Nothing from the Lion King from Scar. Be prepared.
I'm thinking of something like South Pacific. I enjoy being a girl. I don't know, but
Yo, hilarious. I want to be in the room where it happens.
Exactly.
In the room where it happens.
A little Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Oh my gosh! But that is.
So do you watch the Black Lady Sketch Show? One of my favorite shows on television.
Yes.
There's an entire show. There's an entire sketch that's somewhat like that, except it's in a black picnic. When people are about to go crazy, all you do is put on BBD Poison.
Oh.
Like there's a whole sketch around like how you calm people down.
Uh-huh.
At a black picnic. Once you hear BBD Poison, all your troubles just melt off you. They just drop out your body.
Total aside, I just watched something. I don't even remember if it was on Apple Plus or something so bizarre to me called Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon, yeah.
Schmigadoon. You've heard of Schmigadoon?
I have. It's a new streaming show, right? And it's a musical.
It's a musical series with Michael Keegan. Oh,
Michael Keegan.
Michael Keegan. Yes. Oh my God. I enjoyed it just because if you listen to it's all Oklahoma style, like you know, but the lyrics will have you cracking up.
Really?
So yeah, it was only like four parts to it, but yeah.
Okay, so I know it's not Michael Keegan Peele, Steve. It's
I get their names confused.
Well, Jordan Peele
and Michael Key Peele. No.
Keegan.
Michael Keegan.
Keegan Key.
Does anybody out there listening know his name?
Keegan Key.
Michael Keegan Key and Jordan Peele.
Key. I always confuse their names. Gentlemen, I am so sorry because I really think both of you are so talented. So.
But he really is. He's one of those guys that is extremely. He does musicals and shows like that, and he's extremely talented.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peele has gone to the dark side, creating masterpieces.
Yeah. If you ever saw the bit that they did when they were together on Key and Peele called Negro Town, that's kind of reminds you. What's it called? Schmigadoon.
Yeah.
That's what Schmigadoon was like. Yeah.
We'll talk about other TV shows that have captured your attention as we go through, because I have some good news about a show that I'm really crazy about, and we'll talk about that in entertainment. All right. Now it is time for What Is Really Going On, and I am very interested in hearing your opinions on this. I don't know if you have seen it or if you heard about it, but there is a Will Smith article, an interview in GQ magazine. This is in preparation for his autobiography, which is going to be released in the near future. In this GQ article, the one and only Will Smith discusses his and Jada's non-traditional marriage, or I'm not even sure if you call it a marriage, but it is what it is because it's legal. He nor Jada have been monogamous. Both have had entanglements. And a lot of people are, there's a lot of conversation about this because almost from the very early stage of their relationship, Jada said she wasn't about the whole traditional, love, honor, and obey to this one person for the rest of their lives. I thought that's what divorce was for. But I'm just curious, does this and to people that are listening to us, does this appeal to you? Does this make sense? Could you be up? Because I really am a one woman one man
Come on with it.
girl.
Come on, Sybil. Now's the time. Now's the time.
Rewind.
Let's go back.
Rewind.
Finally, we've been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this all.
Man,
Sybil, thank you.
woman.
Really, that wasn't
sorry,
fun.
sorry,
Much fun,
Steve.
but
I'm
that
sorry.
wasn't
I
much
know.
fun.
I know.
All right,
I know.
whatever.
Okay, that'll be another
Wah,
show.
wah.
That'll be another show.
Wah.
After I win my millions and I can just go away. But I really, and so I'm one of those now. The relationships may not go for very long, but I'm very straight and narrow that way. But I'm just wondering what you think about. First of all, what do you think about him revealing this at this point in his life? Because last year when he was talking about this at the red table, he was crying and all of that, and everybody was going after Jada, saying because of her entanglement with August Alsina, and so this is his coming out and saying, he too has been a part of relationships outside of his marriage. So what do you think?
Personally, I just think that's their business. If it works for them, who am I to say? When just in people that I know, many marriages, they tip out on both sides, and they come back and they work it out, and that's that, and it's nobody's business. That's their own pillow talk. So personally, I don't care. I really don't.
Have you considered when you were married or when you were because I'm thinking about The Shy this past season, and even for a younger couple, she was like, I want to date him while I'm married to you, and we have a kid, but this dude, I'm attracted to him, and he went along with it in order to keep their marriage together. Is it something to be considered, Stephen Hill?
Oh, I was really hoping you forgot I was here. And No. Okay. So
I saved this question for you.
A couple of
Mr.
things,
O, all shall be revealed.
Wait. All right. A couple of things here. So when everybody was upset at Red Table Talk, there's rules of engagement, right? And so I'm sure their relationship, even though they weren't monogamous partners, had rules. And everything I took from the Red Table Talk was that in some way, those rules were violated. It wasn't that she was with another guy. It's that the rules of engagement got violated. And that was the challenge, right? I don't think it's a surprise to many people that this is the way their relationship rolls. But I got to tell you, if you can have a relationship like that and then put out two really smart, talented, thoughtful, forward-thinking kids, then I'm all in. Now, I also believe this is also going to break down, for the most part, along gender lines. Where guys will be like, yeah, that's good, man. We should have as many as we want.
Yeah, right.
And women be like, only if you mess up, yeah.
Right.
If you mess up, I'm going out.
And
that's a general. I want to, before the letters coming in and people calling me a sexual Republican. Just want to put that along in general. What do you think, Sybil?
I think, well, like I said,
would you and your girlfriend cheat on each other?
Yes. I have allowed Yolanda to go off with other people.
Okay. We proper nouning it tonight. We are proper nouning it tonight. Yeah. Shadow knows. Okay.
Well, you know what? There used to be a show on called Big Love. Remember that? I absolutely love this show, and they were what's the religion? Were they Mormons?
Mormons.
Yeah, Mormons. And he had three wives. They all lived next door to each other, and it was wife number one, wife number two, wife number three. And all their kids played together. Everybody knew their role. And I used to sit there and go, I don't know if I want to take care of all the kids, but if I could be wife number one and treated as I have to be the grand poobah.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
put it that way.
And
I
was
don't
there
care.
one? Was there the number one in the? Was there a leveling of them
Yes, yes,
categorizing? I guess.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes. If there was a big decision to be made or something, wife number three had to come to wife number one, and and they would sit down and talk about it and blah blah blah. But I'm like, because sometimes I don't want to be bothered, and so that's just the front and back
That's
of
that's
it.
that's the real. That's the
And you
real.
and hey, and if you just really need attention at this time for a week, gone.
Hmm.
I'm
Steve,
gonna be right
what
here.
what do you think? Could you be the man in Big Love and or would you want to be one of the wives? And have a time to break off and just kind of do your own thing. Would that appeal to you?
Ooh, you called me at a very interesting time in my life, Sybil, asking me that question.
Oh, do
Uh,
tell.
so, there have been times before in my life when I thought that might be appealing.
Hmm.
But if I'm be honest with you, it was really like I would like to have one relationship and then to put thrill into a life. And don't come at me hating. I'm just trying to be honest with it. Like, I'm a guy like, tip off, but still want to keep that relationship. And I've been in those type of relationships where, okay, that's going to work for both of us. I'm at a point now where none of that has appeal. Right? I want to be with this one woman that I love madly forever and for as long as I can, and nothing else can step in there because I'm fulfilled in every way. Now I know that's not always the case, but part of it for me was being fulfilled in every single way.
Hmm.
Yeah. Right.
That's really neat. That's really neat. I think that shows maturity and progression on your part. That you were here at one point and now you recognize where you are. And I think some people get into something and say, well, this is the way we started, this is the way we're going to end it, and without thinking about what makes you happy. If this person makes you happy, but the possibility, not every day, I mean, it's not love every day, it's like
Yeah. Some days you're gonna look at each other and be like, yeah.
But I admire them for coming out and telling and talking about this, because it's still a taboo thing. We don't talk about, I mean, when we talk about it, it's in very hushed tones. Did you hear about so and so and so and so, and and that kind of thing. And whereas I suspect in my very cloistered life that this goes on a lot more than we are familiar with.
Absolutely. That's why I don't understand what's the big whoop. Now we all know doggone well in our own family, Uncle Buck and Aunt Sue done tipped off on their own things and just don't say nothing about it.
Hmm.
Look, it's been some people that showed up at the family reunion and everybody started whispering the minute that she came through the door. We all know about this. This isn't anything new. My thing is just to me, grown folk business should remain grown folk business.
Hmm.
I don't know why they feel the need to put it all out there in the street, but I'm like, Will and Jada, they ain't doing nothing that other people aren't doing. So
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um,
I think, look, I think the part of it is you got to have the communication has to come early. Like you have to.
yeah.
The problem
yes,
is with a lot of this is like it happens after the tip out and be like, well, baby, this is what I want. And it feels like in this relationship, which I would agree with you, Myra, we have no need to be in the middle of. What it works for them, and I need to mention once again, and they're two really intelligent, forward-thinking children that come out of whatever reunion this is. Like that's your report card right there. But
Hmm.
that's your report card. And so, and my point is, they seem to have talked about this very, very early, so there were no surprises, and that's why when the red table was like somebody violated the rules of engagement.
And I also think that this is a reflection of the families that they came from, because Will is very honest in talking about his parents and especially the abuse that his mother suffered at the hands of his father, and he promised that he would never be a part of that. And Jada came from a more well, I shouldn't call it free love, but not as the structured kind of family relationship that Will was a part of. And so she came into this saying, I don't want what, what your parents had, and Will saying, I didn't want what my parents had either, because I'm not going to be the abuser in all of this. But and the agreement, Steve, that we are going to raise some pretty amazing children, and whatever it takes to do that, let's do it. I'm in it for that. And so, whatever
And
else comes of that.
I also think as people mature and sex isn't quote unquote the number one thing in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and you find that intimacy is more important than sex.
Yeah.
And when you have a partner that you can be intimate with, and that doesn't necessarily mean sex,
Mm-hmm.
then that it just puts a whole different perspective on things to me.
Well,
Yeah.
another perspective, from the male perspective, I don't know what you're talking about. That sex thing never waned. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it to wane. I'm waiting for it to. I'm watching my clock now. Wait. When is that whole desire for sex thing going to wane? I'm not sure that it does.
So
you just gotta find somebody who wants to wax with you.
because you hate to wax by yourself, huh?
Well, hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word, Sybil. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hate's a strong word. It's sex with somebody I love, so
Right, exactly. I think that it's just a really interesting whole concept of love and marriage and relationships that we don't talk enough about, but I think that they are bringing this to another level of openness and using their own lives as an example of this. So I commend them, and I'm really curious as to see what Will's book is going to look like and how it reads. I'm hearing a lot of great things about it. So
I hope it's a pop-up.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Don't try the veal. Myra J will be here every week.
Thank you.
Brilliant. I just I love the idea of these conversations. So good for us. All right, now it's time for What You Need to Know. That, of course, is our newsletter. And it is a newsletter that we put together every day, Monday through Friday. It can be in your email box for absolutely nothing. It will not cost you a single dime or penny. It's absolutely free. Please go to sybilwilkes.com and give us your name and your email address, and we will have that in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. All right, so the first thing we should talk about in this current newsletter is the story that the absent Quinn has written about the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, is seeking to sue gang members in order to curb gun violence. This was their big idea, and not many people have a very good acceptance of this. This is what she's hoping to restrain gun violence. And the plan includes a new city ordinance that would allow the city to file lawsuits against gang members and leaders. According to the news, this ordinance, introduced during a city council meeting, aims to deprive gang members of funds and weapons by allowing fines as high as $10,000 for each offense. I want her to succeed. I'm just not sure that this is the answer.
No, it's not the answer. It may be one thing that they can do. The problem in Chicago has so many layers to it. I think we need to start, with education and better jobs, blah blah blah. But that takes time. Mm-hmm. That's going to take time. So in the meantime, I feel like heck yes, soon to take their stuff, whatever, because we have to stop making excuses.
Right.
In the meantime, I promise you, somebody's going to get shot undeservedly in Chicago tonight. Mm-hmm. Tonight,
if not more than one.
Right. Yeah. And someone needs to be held accountable for it. So whatever we can do for that immediate solution, but the real answer is long term.
Yeah. I think there's look, is this the best idea? Probably not. Is it a different idea? It is. And the way we're going to get to any solution is through some radical thinking, right? This has been going on for too long, and the traditional way of thinking has not curbed it at all. I know it's not just Chicago, but murders are up. What did the FBI say? 30%, 20 to 30% this year?
Yep.
20 to 30% this year, right? There's a true challenge in this country overall. And Chicago's just the sparking point. But what's going to change it is really different radical ideas. And so hopefully this is just a stepping stone to a better idea that will make a difference.
Because they've got to be at their wits' end. Not just Chicago, not just the mayor of Chicago, not just the chief of police of Chicago, David Brown. Cities all over this country, if not all over the world at this point, have just got to be at their wits' end, because every day there are countless stories of, as you mentioned, Myra, innocent people, not just people, innocent babies in their own homes that are shot and killed. They're not even outside.
Right.
One little boy was visiting from down south with his mom and was shot and killed while a woman was braiding his hair in the house.
Yep.
So there's got to be a lot of frustration, and so you just kind of throw things against the wall, as they say, and to see what will stick. What do you got?
Right. These are desperate times. These really are. They are desperate times, and we need to do something today while we work on tomorrow.
Right.
Absolutely.
I agree. Okay, so another story in the newsletter I want to talk about, and I absolutely love this woman because she's so progressive in the way she has represented the people from Southern California, in Los Angeles in particular. Her name is Karen Bass, and she's a United States Congresswoman, and she has really represented. She's like I would say a younger Maxine Waters in terms of her love for the community and the people. Well, she so much loves the community of Los Angeles. She now has tossed her hat into the ring, and she is running for mayor of Los Angeles. Eric Garcetti is going to be leaving that position. He's going to be taking a job with the Biden administration. And so she has stepped up and said, okay, it's my time. I'm reclaiming my time. And I'm going to run for mayor. Would you move back to Los Angeles for her, Myra?
Heck yeah. That and a nice home, of course.
An affordable home.
Yes. AKA nice, yes. Yes. No, I actually love reading that story. I do believe she makes a great candidate. I do think it will be challenging for her, as the landscape of Los Angeles has changed over the years. I lived there for 25 years. I've been gone for 20 years. And even when I go back now, I'm like, wow, it's just, there's a huge Hispanic community there now, which I absolutely love. And people were like all up in arms, like, and I'm like, what's the problem? Hell, this used to be Mexico. Study your history.
This is their land.
Right. I'm like, they're not sneaking across the border. They going home. What's wrong with y'all? You know, I think we need to work together rather than trying to go, oh, no, they can't come. Yes, they can come. Anybody who is willing to do an honest day's work, yes, let them come and let's work together to make this a better city. So if she can unite the people there, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Steve, you're spending a lot of time in Los Angeles with your work. What do you think about Karen Bass being the next mayor of Los Angeles? And especially her number one priority is to do something about the homelessness situation.
I'm so glad. I was literally about to say, like, if the difference between LA now and LA 10 years ago, without a doubt, is the homeless being more visible. I'm not saying that there's more of them, though that's probably the case, but that they are, that there's such a need for service for people who don't have homes, most through no direct fault of their own, is probably. I understand that. I don't know. It's one of those problems that's huge, but it is affecting the way. It is unfortunately affecting the way people move about the city. And the horrible thing is, a lot of the energy behind this is because you see homeless in Beverly Hills, you see homeless in Malibu, you see homeless in Venice. So it is a human issue and an economic issue. So when you put those two things together, that has to be a public figure's number one aim.
Right. And because when you come to Beverly Hills, when you come to Venice Beach, when you come to any of those, what is it? Palo Vista?
Palos Verdes.
Palos Verdes, yeah.
Palos Verdes.
That, and people are on your doorstep and you're stepping over them, that makes a big difference to those people that paid an incredible amount of money to live there. And here's what I also love about Karen Bass and running for mayor of Los Angeles. When she wins, she's only going to be the second Black person to be mayor of Los Angeles. It's been how long? Yes, Myra.
When I was there, it was Mayor Tom Bradley.
That was it. He was the first, and she'll be the first Black woman. It's really kind of hard to believe that I can't even remember how many years it's been since Mayor Bradley was in office. But they've had some good ones and some not so good ones. But to your point, this is a growing Hispanic city, and they've had Villaraigosa and other people who have been there to represent. And it's time. It's absolutely time that Black women. It's our time that a Black woman rises to the level of mayor of Los Angeles.
I certainly hope she does well.
Yeah,
I really do.
too.
It's a wonderful city. I still love LA. If I could afford it,
right,
I would be back there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a great town.
It really is. It's a fun town, and I enjoyed my time there too. It took an adjustment, but it is it's unlike anything you've ever seen being on the West Coast.
When I first told my brother that I was gonna move there, and he was already there, he says, "Sis, you're a city girl. You're from Chicago. Let me warn you," because I had never visited. I was just coming.
Wow.
He said, "Forget what you see on television." He said, "This is down south with palm trees." I always remember him describing it like that.
Brilliant description.
And when I got there, I went, okay, because it's not well. When I first went there in '75, the banks were only open from 10 to 3. The buses ran every hour. They didn't have a metro train.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of? This is
a major American city.
I'm thinking it's like Chicago and New York. It was nothing like that.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
That was a brilliant description by your brother.
Yeah.
God bless Prince. And I love going into restaurants and seeing my friends' pictures on the wall. That's another thing I really love to do. At Fat Burger and what have you, it's a good time. All right, are y'all ready for the government to run out of money and out of business this?
Why shouldn't they be like every other American?
Okay.
We go through this. It seems like every administration they come to a head, and once again, I don't know who's going to make this into law, but I still say, if they do a government shutdown, that every politician, no paycheck for you. Everything for them gets cut off. You get no medical, you get no free plane ride, no train ride. Everything gets cut off. And for every day that they can't work it out, they're not doing their job, the money gets deducted from their paycheck.
Come on.
Period.
That's it.
You don't get paid.
I'm so down with that, Myra. Absolutely. The great disparity in working for the federal government as an employee of TSA or of the IRS or Social Security Administration, and the difference between that and being a member of the United States House or Congress or the White House, I dare say, is in the paycheck, because not only do they get paid ridiculously more than those people who are harder working, but also they keep getting paid when other people are put on furlough, when
That's
they are
right.
without their money.
That's right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
My biggest fear this time is that the Republicans are so stubborn
Yep.
that they will cut off their nose to spite their face. They will send this country down the drain just to say, see there, when the Democrats were in charge, see what happened to the country? See what happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And so this is the time where the Democrats really need to get their splaining ways in line and in order, to tell people and to make them understand the politics that is being played, and you are the pawn in all of this. You just have to understand, when it comes time for re-election next year, that who was really trying to do something, and you might have to put your, as you say, Myra, put your big girl panties on and separate these bills too. Separate the bill that's going to keep the government running from the raising the debt level, because this is one. And they say, okay, we're not going to sign it unless you separate them. Okay, we separate them. Now what?
Yeah.
Because we cannot have another instance of 35 days of people who work for the federal government being in food lines.
Yep.
Starting up crowdfunding sites so that they can put food on their children's tables. We can't do this the way they did it during the Trump administration. Absolutely not. Yep. And it's been done before, but this was the longest, was 35 days.
Yep.
And yet they're going to do it. And yet they're going to do it for political gain. Because no one cares about the good of the country. All they care about is their own power. It's just the threat to the democracy is already here. We keep thinking everything's going to turn out all right, even if we keep acting the same way. I bring us back to global warming, right? We still think it's going to be all right, even if we act stupidly the same way. I bring us back to my relationship 3 years ago. Everybody believes it's going to come out right, even if you keep acting stupid.
You got it. You got it. Absolutely right. Let's talk entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Lady and gentlemen, let's talk. Oh, I am so excited. Because I want us to all rise for OWN's rescue of a canceled TV show, which was one of my favorites last season, All Rise. This was on CBS. It went for 2 seasons. It was canceled, did not make it to the 3rd season, and almighty Oprah comes to the rescue.
Oh, cool.
And All Rise has been resurrected for season 3, picked up, and most of the cast is returning, including Judge Lola, played by the wonderful Simone Missick, are set to return. So I'm really excited about that. Are there any shows that you've seen go by the wayside that either of you would like to see return? Like, I'm
still waiting for the White Shadow to come back. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am waiting for White Shadow to come back.
You're killing me.
Well, Martin. We're gonna go.
Myra, if Martin was revived and Martin called you up and said, come back and come to the writer's room?
In a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
That was my first writing job. So I would really like to come back to show them. I've actually gotten better, you guys.
I was nominated for a Humanitas Award.
Like, really good things started to happen after I left the show, believe it or not.
Let me come back and share some things with you. Okay, so Beyond the White Shadow, Steve, 106 in Park, would you like to see that come back?
So that's very funny because Roxy, the awesome and talented Roxy, who has a new show on Fox called Alter Ego, please make sure you check it out. She was on The Real either yesterday or today talking about 106 in Park and said like she'd love to see it come back as a nighttime show. 106 in Park was some of the best times I've ever had in my entire life. So I love that it happened and would welcome any kind of revival of that.
That's nice.
Did I just see something about Donnie Simpson saying that his video soul was going to be on Tubi?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. And
Yeah.
if somebody could to confirm that, but I do want to say it was Tubi,
Yeah.
Myra. Yeah.
Tubi. Yeah.
Yeah, the
To
Green Eyed
be or
Soul
not to
Brother.
be? Oh.
Stephen Hill, I heard this woman's name, but I wasn't familiar with her breadth of work. Andrea Martin, the singer-songwriter, regarded as forever a legend. She wrote songs for artists like Monica and In Vogue. She has passed away at the age of 49. It was announced this week. And they say, with a heavy heart, we inform you of the passing of our beautiful Andrea Martin, also known as Annie, and her dedication to her family and friends. She passed away just a few days ago. And they say that she wrote the smash hit Monica's Before You Walked Out of My Life, 2 weeks at #1. And she also released her debut album, The Best of Me, and that was under Sony's Arista. She was a longtime writing partner when she had the hits like In Vogue's Don't Let It Go and SWV's You're the One and Angie Stone's I Wish I Didn't Miss You.
Wait, wow. she wrote Don't Let Go by In Vogue?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her personally, but you named two of probably my favorite R&B songs in the last 20 years in that. Before You Walk Out of My Life and Don't Let It Go.
Yeah. She also wrote songs for Toni Braxton, Leona Lewis, Melanie Fiona, Sean Kingston, Fantasia, and Jennifer Hudson. So we thank you for your great work and asked for a great passage in your transition. All right, it's time for us to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we don't wrap without giving you a little love and inspiration. Today's Yogi's Jewel: say no to the fear that interferes with your progress. So inhale freedom, exhale fear. Say no to the fear. Inhale freedom. Exhale fear.
Spiders falling off a cliff.
Taxes.
Those are my fears, playing. Those are my fears.
Okay, well, mine is snakes, so I'm right there with you.
Why'd it have to be snakes?
What do you mean you can't wear these magnums?
Wow.
You should have ended this show 2 seconds ago. Why would you give me an extra 10 seconds? Why?
Oh, dear God.
Not even say nothing after that.
Well, there goes the jewel. And we will close this with a sample from our Quinn Townsend Riley's And She Worthy poetry album.
Feel better, Quinn. Feel better. Feel better.
Yes. Feel better, Quinn.
It's available now on Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal, wherever you can stream. And this ought to make you feel better, Quinn. This is a little piece from your poetry album, and it features Quinn's mom. Bye, everybody.
All women are worthy. Any human being is worthy as long as they are part of this earth. You know, God is the creator, and He make us worthy by just our existence here. It's what we do with ourselves in terms of our talents, our God-given gifts that may inspire others, and perhaps, you know, worthiness will come from that. But who sets out to do things looking for validation from the world? That's the wrong priority, if you ask me.